Welcome back, boys and girls. Merry Christmas. Hope everybody is doing well. We are in Denver, and this is a 757-200, which is, at least aesthetically, my favorite passenger plane. I think it's really cool. It's the Flight Factor. We're doing a little bit of Walker Air transport ops. Going to fly from Denver to Phoenix today. It's about 530 nautical miles. It shouldn't take us too long because this thing's pretty quick, and the weather's pretty decent. I haven't done anything. And I want to try to get out of here fast because the ambient noises at the airport are kind of annoying. It's on repeat. It seems as loud in the cockpit, and I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted material somehow. So get out of here fast as we can. First, get a tablet here and a double check ground. We need GPU. We'll get the chocks. Call a fuel truck, and we'll configure for a gate. And airplane, open the front passenger door and the forward and aft cargo compartments. Let's go back here. Definitely going to have full passengers, which I think is 170 on this plane. Let's see. Yeah, that's full. And we're looking for a zero fuel weight of 184,000. So I'll get this in there too. Block fuel 20.9. Let's round up to 21. And cargo weight, so zero fuel is 172. So I want to say about 12,000. Come on now, 16,000. $184. Let's go 17. That's good enough. And we'll start optimize CG, make sure that's good, do some maintenance, and start loading that. When we get in the cockpit, double check battery on, standby power on auto, and we got the external power available. Get it on the bus ties, utility bus, turn on engine gen now, don't need to worry. Yaw dampers can come on, hydraulic electric pumps. And what else? Emergency lights, no smoking. Seatbelts auto. Cabin pressure auto. We'll set that altitude in a second. Amateur flight doer, good to see ya, buddy. How you doing? What else? Auto. Trim air, recirc fans, packs auto. I'll turn the APU bleed on now. Oh, how about some lights too? Position lights. Actually, I don't know what the protocol is for passenger jets. You don't need position lights during the day. It's a night requirement. I wonder if maybe the airlines make them do it for insurance reasons or something. Don't know. Reference airport, Kden-Kphx. Get out of here. Copy that, bad boy. Let's get an ATIS real quick. Get out of here. 122.0.
Kilo Delta Echo November Airport information Delta 1453 Zulu weather wind 223 at 7 visibility 10 sky condition few clouds at 14,000 ceiling 20,000 broken temperature 5 dew point -12 altimeter 2998 advise on initial contact you have information Delta
Delta altimeter is 2998.
Kilo Delta
Double check over here, should be set to 9 or 9 or 8. Winds 223 at 7. Probably take runway 26, which is going to be kind of a long taxi, but it is what it is. Let's see, how about in Phoenix weather? Winds 100 at 5 knots. Scattered 16,000, broken 19,000. So let's do runway. I think 7 right is the short arrival guy. Yeah, ILS 7 right, so it's going to be 26 to 7 right. Go ahead and put this stuff in route. Kden we've already got in there. Going to Phoenix, which is Kilo Papa Hotel X-Ray. Put in our waypoints first. Sounds like we're done loading, which is good. Let's see, some of that ambient noise is done. Jesus, y'all loud. Flight plan route. Kden direct to day. Delta Alpha Alpha Yankee Echo. Day direct to GUP VOR Golf Uniform Papa. I'm guessing it's that one. Let's see. North 3528. The bottom one. Good thing we looked. West 10852. That is us. And then it's the arrival, the Eagle 6. So departures and arrivals. Kden, no departure, no SID. It's going to be runway 26. There you go, buddy. Thank you. No SID. Back to departures and arrivals. Phoenix, ILS 07 right via the Eagle 6 arrival. GUP transition we've got in there. And we'll do Alice, I think, is a transition from the north, which should be our direction of arrival. Make things easy. Routes, activate, execute. And we'll have a look and see how that appears. Switch this over to plan. Legs and step through here. Already got it. Discontinuity, GUP. There you go. Fix that. Day GUP, Kirkham slider. Tinnis, Peso, Eagle, Homer. And vectors to Alice. Might shorten that up if we want to. And all good there. Over to init ref ground gross weights 204.6. And let's see, our reserves for today 6.5. Cruise altitude, flight level 340. Cost index 10. And normally I would boost that up a little bit, but since we're flying for a VA, I make sure we're keeping it what is on our OFP. Takeoff can be flaps 5. D-rate thrust takeoff 40 degrees. Center of gravity trim 4. Trim it up. And winds are pretty marginal. I'm not going to put them in on here. It's not going to really matter that much. We'll get the V speeds 142, V1, rotate 145, and V2 is 150. And that should automatically set into the MCP. So whether we complete route should be good. Init complete. Get this computer on the legs, and this one I prefer to have on takeoff data. So 150 V2. It's already on the MCP. Runway heading is 262 degrees. And cruise altitude, we'll just go straight there. Flight level 340. Good, good, good. Alright, fuel is loaded, 10.5, 10.5. Nothing in the center tank, so we'll get left, right pumps on. And we will start the APU. Double check down here. EGT and RPMs are coming up. You can hear the APU kicking on. And let's get rid of the fuel truck. See ya. Still waiting on the IRS2 line. What heading are we at right now? pointing south, so we need to be pushed back into the right. I think.
Round to cockpit.
Let's double check.
Acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Yeah, I think that's our runway. Jesus, be driving this thing. 26. Long taxi today, fellas. Holy feck. It's gonna be half the stream right there. APU is on. You can see the fail list right here, so that means it's available. Switch that on. GPU off. Get rid of the GPU cart. And double check our parking brake is on. It is. Move our chocks. Still waiting for the IRS to line. Some other cockpit man. Auto brakes on RTO.
Ground at Canada 1025. 1025 ground. Yeah, looks like we have to wait for our gate here, 22. Looking to be pushed back here for the next 5 minutes.
Okay, you're good on position there, just listen over the street.
Let's get a random transponder code. I'll go 5, 4, 3, 2. Should be on ground currently. Let's go tower 124.3.
Ground Cat 4 is 3514 is listed on Alpha.
46514, taxi Alpha, cross 31, Bravo, military, but face off 131.4 on Bravo.
Hey, Alpha cross 31, Bravo to the apron, 1314 on Bravo.
Any minute now, IRS. As soon as that's done, we will get out of here. Let me double check that I've done this here.
3514 is listed on Alpha.
46514,
Yeah, we're good.
Alpha, cross 31, Bravo, military, but face off 131.4 on Bravo.
Get our flight directors on.
Bravo to the apron, 1314 on Bravo.
So VNAV, let's see, neither one of these. What's going on here?
Ground let's get 832 with the push back.
City 32, ground pushback, start your scope.
Alright, IRS is aligned. Might not be able to turn LNAV and VNAV on because it's going to be runway heading. So we'll do 262 heading select when we get lined up on the runway. And then once we're airborne, I'll get LNAV and VNAV, and we'll go direct to, I guess, day is going to be that first waypoint. Should be no big deal. You can see the V speeds are bugged. IRS is aligned, so we're pretty much good to go here. Let's close the doors. And get rid of gate config. Cycle the parking brake, get rid of that. Red anti-collision light on, and we can call our pushback somewhere up here. Better pushback. Start that bad boy.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
GG. Window heat. And let's quick look at Phoenix Air Harbor. Field elevation 1,135 feet. Double check. We are on auto 1. Good. Passengers seatbelts can come on. There we go. Isolation valve. Where you at? You already under the nose? He snuck up there. Oh.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed and ready to connect.
Taxi by Victor, Hotel Charlie for runway 31.
Hotel Charlie.
Ground with Charlie Lapa, with you on apron 5, ready to taxi, break, and request.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
There you go, buddy. Buddy.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
Gonna wait a little minute till we're back behind that checkered line back there. There we go, buddies. Let's do it here. I'm gonna start with engine number 2. It packs off. Ground. Switch this over to our engine display. N2's coming up.
Taxi Charlie, cross runway 31, then hotel, Foxtrot,
20%.
for runway 18.
Okay, we're on apron 5. Again, you want me to go hotel, Foxtrot, and Papa.
That's correct. From apron 5, hotel, Foxtrot, and Papa, cross 25.
Should get a screen flicker on the right screens when the engine gen kicks on over there. There it is. Switch that to continuous. Go engine number 1, ground.
Okay, ground perimeter trainer 7 at the dog leg for 36.
Trainer 7, roger, hold short of the dog leg.
Trainer 7.
Ooh, no, no.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Trainer 7, roger, hold short of the dog leg.
Trainer 7.
Disconnecting tow, stand by.
Spanks. There we go. There's the flicker. Engine gen is on. It's on the bus already. Just wait for the hydraulic pumps pressure to come up. Good. Disconnect the APU. APU can come off. APU bleed off. Engine bleeds on and packs back to auto. See ya. Let's see. ECAS page should say parking brake and APU gen off. That's all good. Do a flight control check here. Left aileron.
Tow is disconnected
Right.
and bypass pin has been removed.
Back elevator.
Signal will be on the right.
Forward.
See you next time and have a
And
great
some rudder. Thank you. See ya. Flight controls are good. Arm our ground spoiler and flaps. 5.
Taxi hotel lead.
Nose lights can come on, and I think we're pretty much good to go here. Waiting for our... There he is. See ya.
72 is ready to taxi for 36.
1172, ground, runway 36, departure altimeter 296, taxi by Victor, Hotel Charlie, cross runway 31 for 36.
There we go. Park and brake off. Bring the throttle up, make sure we don't get a takeoff config warning. We are good.
Canada 11, 72 is ready to
Boy, is she heavy though. She does not want to roll. There she goes.
1172, ground, runway 36, departure altimeter 296, taxi by Victor, Hotel Charlie, cross runway 31 for 36.
36 and 296 or 1011, 72.
Ground is zip 6267, gate 28, push to the ice.
Was it 66?
Alright, let's try to speed this up as much as possible. Make an airport diagram here. We are looking for... taxiway Mike. Should be able to dead end into Mike. There we go. There she is.
Ground is zip 6267, gate 28.
Get terrain over here, weather radar on that side. Personally like data. And how about some airports?
And what is the ground? Good afternoon, Echo Mike Alpha Medevac. Come under the dog leg to taxi.
Left on Mike,
31, altimeter 297, taxi turn.
which is...
2997, up to Charlie, Echo Mike Alpha, check with the priority on this departure.
Priority, alright.
should be the second one here. There we go. Man, that ground speed really drops as soon as you put it back to flight idle. It does not want to roll. There we go. Here's Mike. Take this all the way down to Echo Echo. Or I guess we could go to Romeo.
And what is the ground? Good afternoon, Echo Mike Alpha Medevac.
And right on Romeo. All the way down to the end.
Ground runway 31, altimeter 297, taxi turn.
Fast taxi approved.
Charlie, Echo Mike Alpha, check with the priority on this departure.
Priority, alright. Air Canada. Air Canada, 1026 from ground. so you can plan 31 for your departure.
Okay, we'll plan runway 31 for the departure. Canada 1026, thanks.
Ground Northwest 793, clearing 36 for Juliet 18.
Northwest 793 ground, good afternoon. Taxi Tango, Fox across runway 25, Whiskey 2
Northwest 793.
Alright, Romeo should be the second right. Now we're cooking 28 knots ground speed.
Ground Northwest 793, clearing 36 for Juliet 18.
Northwest 793 ground, good afternoon. Taxi Tango, Fox across runway 25, Whiskey 2
Northwest 793.
And this is the departure end of the runway, so we got to taxi all the way down to the other end. Jesus. Denver, huge airport. Part of the reason I'm trying to get out of here, they're doing VA stuff. I mean, wherever you end on your last flight, unless you deadhead or grab a seat back to another airport, you have to depart from that one. So we're in Denver from a previous flight that I'd done the other day. Phoenix is a little bit more manageable in terms of size and taxiing, so we'll get back there. Maybe head to the West Coast for a bit.
Grounder Canada 1026 is running taxi runway 31.
There we go, all the freaking way to the end on Romeo to Romeo 1.
Victor or Sierra, Hotel and Charlie.
Okay.
Pacific Ground, good afternoon. We'll say a 964, just coming up to the dock lane, expecting taxi.
964 ground, runway 36, altimeter 209.7, taxi Charlie, hold short 31.
97, we'll taxi Charlie, hold short 31, we'll say a 964.
The end is in sight. Thank little baby Jesus.
Pacific Ground, good afternoon. We'll say a 964, just coming up to the dock lane, expecting
Go ahead and switch this to tower. And departure control 126.1.
Got 3569, line up runway 26. Line up 26 left, got 3569. Number Chaz 305, ready westbound off the river. Chaz 564, contact person near the 12407, Delta 5, clear takeoff 126 off.
Clear takeoff 265, Chaz 564.
Romeo 1. Lose radio contact with the freaking tower this far away. Jesus. Where's she at?
Heavy tower line up runway 26 left.
Good time, 1014 AV, good day, landing up runway 26 left. Kutan 10 Ocean AV, good day, landing at runway 26 Delta.
Go back, Tower,
Get the auto throttle armed while we're thinking about it. So we get LNAV and VNAV. We can arm right now, but like I said, we're probably going to be flying runway heading. Otherwise, the flight directors are just going to spin us off to the right. So once we get lined up, I'll go to heading select. Should get us on 262, and we'll fly that until we're maybe like 4,000 AGL. Don't know, didn't look at the departure procedures, don't care. Romeo 1 coming up finally. Could have just driven to Phoenix by this point.
Quebec, Charlie, altimeter 2970, report to beacon inbound 13.
2970, report the beacon inbound.
Two six. We found it.
Westjet 51 with you for the ILS.
Westjet 51, Tower, good afternoon. Wind at 34012, altimeter 29er.
Alright, brakes. Park and brake on. Let's go lights. No white strobes, don't need the logo or anything like that. Transponder TARA. And double check. Stabilizer trim is set, flaps are set, ground spoilers are armed. I think we're good to go. Switch you to, I'll leave it tower, 26-1 airborne. Line up.
Westjet 51, Tower, good afternoon. Wind at 34012, altimeter 29er, clear to land, runway 36.
Clear final.
7750, the wind is 33012, contact departure, block 7, takeoff, runway 36.
26 on the pavement. Swing her around. That's good enough.
The wind is 33012, contact departure, block 7, takeoff, runway 36.
Stable and throttles. Just in the heading mode here. I wish BSS would make a sound mod for the 757. I think the default sound's not the best things in the world. Jeez. Heavy today. You use all this runway. Go V1. Rotate. See ya. Tap the brakes here coming up. Thought we put it into heading hold here. There we go. Alright, switch this over to departure control. That's probably going to get the nose down. let's do this. Direct interchange. Well, no, I need you. To day. What's going on? Execute. LNAV. Retracted flaps. .220 slats coming in. Get that landing gear in the off position. Auto brakes are already disarmed. Go ahead and disarm the ground spoilers. Alright, I'll go ahead and get the autopilot going. Let that take some of the work. Nose gear light can come off, and we're about to pass 10,000. We got 10,000. See ya. Centennial down there, Kilo Alpha, Papa Alpha. Never heard of it. Let's see if we can pick up Denver Center. That will work. And have a look at our approach. So we're doing the ILS 7 right. Let's see what our minimums are. ILS 07 right. Minimums are going to be 300 feet. Missed approach, climbed to 3,300, then climbing right turn to 5,000, and heading 250 on the Phoenix 4 tack, radial 1632, Pop Key, PXR, 15 DME and hold. Alright, we are above... Now, turn the seatbelts off. Seatbelts, and there's 18,000, so set this to standard pressure, 29902. Not a big difference. Turn the seatbelts off and start hitting a little bit of turbulence. Perfect. Get the sound down a little bit here. Nothing? Nope. Wow, there we go.
About 4550, traffic 11 o'clock, 5 miles on projection. Thousand people below you. It is Embraer 135.
Man, I wish I'd known this. Airport volume, I could turn that shit off. I am dumb. Not a huge fan of those. What is the rumble? I want to get rid of that. That's good enough. So this is what it's like to fly with a cost index of 10. I feel like we would have been, although we are pretty heavy today. For a 752. What's going on with the weather radar over here? Oh, it's on test. That'd be why. Not expecting any weather, but who knows? Didn't exactly do the most thorough flight brief before any of this.
Contact 135.6 today. 6080, have a good one. Contact 135.6 today.
Dutch baby, what up? Merry Christmas. Getting one more little VA flight in here before fam comes, and I gotta stay away from my computer for a couple days. Merry Demas. You expecting anything cool for Christmas? What are you looking forward to? Food. That's a good one. I'm actually in the process. Well, I already put it together this morning, but I put it in the slow cooker. Honey garlic chicken with vegetables. Ooh. It's really going headlong into the DCS, eh? Although, to be honest, that would be good for X-Plane as well. For, I mean, you know, I was thinking about this today. Like for passenger jets, it's no big deal. If you're flying an approach, you're not really doing much visually outside the window. But with the smaller GA planes doing visual approaches, having to have keybinds set for specific angles so you can, you know, do ground reference stuff, that would be good. And dogfighting. Yep, looking for bogeys. Speaking of food, man, I'm already hungry. Took me forever to get off the ground because the taxi took like 45 minutes. Jesus. Hell yeah. There's an update for it. I haven't flown it in forever, so make this the last one before Christmas. Crimbus. Family coming, dogs coming, man, I'm pumped. What are your Christmas plans? You do anything special? She is a skinny bitch. She looks elegant, though. The landing gear down, too. The landing gear really tall. It's like me. Long legs, skinny. Ither, what up, baby? Dad's here. I don't know if he's talking about me or the airplane. The man of the hour. This is the guy who put it all together. Dude, I'm loving the VA stuff. Merry Christmas, buddy. When are you off? You have an early day today, or are you working tomorrow too? Are you gonna do like a, you know, an official release or something? Because it seems like things are pretty well underway now. I mean, look at the number of flights and hours and stuff people are already racking up. Whew. I'm guessing you're off for Christmas though. And what exactly are you changing with the cargo stuff? Because I mean, frankly, it worked pretty well. I mean, I only did one flight with it, but it's cool that you can just choose to leave from wherever you pick up the contract. Better not. Punch somebody in the dick. Also, is your name legit? Is that your real name that you got on the A-cars? Yeah. That is the coolest fucking name I've ever seen. I thought you were just fucking with me when you mailed me the joystick and everything. You just didn't want to put your real name. That's awesome. That's freaking sweet. I mean, I saw some mention of it, but I wasn't sure if you were joking or not. Hard to know. What about you, man? Are you expecting anything in particular for Christmas? What are you looking forward to? I know technically the honeycomb was part of your Christmas present, wasn't it? He is the real Storm. Storm? That's crazy. That's awesome. What are we doing up here? By the way, Ither, if you got the 767, the 757 is almost identical, at least in terms of the setup. I mean, look at the overhead panel. I think the way that it works, someone who's type rated on one or the other can also change, at least interchangeably, to a second officer position or a first officer position because the planes are so familiar, which is pretty cool. So if you can fly one, you can fly the other. But I mean, check out these freaking windows. This would be such an amazing plane to fly in real life. Just massive, massive windows. When Dave was still coming around, Finbar, he said he got the jump seat on one of these back here. How cool would this be?
33.87 Air Canada 785.
Didn't what happened in the Max? Missed something.
91316,000. Roger, altimeter 296 minor.
296.9, 713. And check the line at 15, right?
Yes, we are.
Very good.
Oh, almost at cruise altitude. 737 Type. So what exactly is going on with the Max? I mean, I haven't been following it particularly closely. I know that they're stopping production. Are they ever going to pick that up, or are they done? I mean, that was a pretty big hit to brand right there, obviously.
969, 713. And check the line at 15, right?
Yes, we are.
Very good.
Yeah, but you know, I think someone screenshotted it and posted this comment. That was a training issue. Like someone suggesting that part of the reason it never happened in the United States is because of the minimum requirements for hours that a lot of pilots had, and that if that issue were to recur in a cockpit, it wouldn't have been as disastrous as it was for these low hour requirement guys, these airlines. What were they? I mean, one was in Malaysia. I can't remember the two airlines, but both of them. I mean, for example, to get a commercial license in the United States, it's 250 hours minimum, right? And that only gives you a single engine commercial before you get all the other tack-ons. But an ATPL is 1,500 hours, basically minimum. And, yeah, PowerPoint self-teach training. But, you know, for example, Korean Air, the minimum requirement for first officers going into something like a 220 is 300 hours, which is 50 hours over your commercial, which is nuts. That's nuts. And that's, I mean, Korean Air, they have a better track record than a lot of these other smaller countries, carriers, and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Lion Air, yeah, I can't remember the other one. I mean, of course, there should have been some sort of information that was passed around, but again, we don't. What does it say that none of these problems occurred in any of the other, like, major air carriers in other countries? Boeing fucked up, definitely, but you know, I wouldn't be personally afraid to fly on a Max. I don't, but who knows what's going to happen to that series now. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure that they know probably, you know, partly because of their hour requirements, precisely what to do in a situation like that. I can't say personally because I mean, obviously no experience with the 730 Max, but shouldn't the auto trim cutoff, the 2 switches behind the throttle quadrant should have worked? No. I don't remember hearing about that. How long ago was that? And again, yeah, Boeing fucked up. I mean, that should have been information that was passed out to all the carriers that were flying the 737 Maxes. 100%. So, I mean, as far as you know, what do you do in that situation to stop it? Will the pilots in that situation just figure it out themselves? That definitely would have been scary, that's for sure. Or I mean, it's just so similar in operational detail to the other 737s. They probably didn't think that they needed much extra training. I guess the real question is, if Boeing was aware of it, when did they become aware of it, and why didn't that information get disseminated to all the carriers that were operating the Maxes? Yeah, I mean, you had thousands of hours on what? What type of aircraft? Were they new? I don't know enough to say if they were new to the 737s or what. Either way, and then what? The little space module that Boeing tried to send up the other day didn't actually make it to the ISS. They have not had a good year. I don't remember. I mean, I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. Oh, also speaking of Christmas presents, Twitch finally responded to me, and they unlocked my 2FA so I could fix that. So Twitch, if you're out there spying or whatever, Spanx. Now I can chat. I can use this shit like normal. See ya. What we got here? Let's see about where are we going? Phoenix?
Delta 1459, Roger, no reports this morning. Should be pretty smooth as you get up there.
119.2 for approach control.
Delta 1459, just to let you know, we had a little bit of light run in the clouds. And
What? How did you do that?
Okay, thank you.
What the fuck, man? Christmas? How do you do that? Bitch? I mean, you imagine if this was your job, just sitting up here for like an hour, just enjoying these views. Ooh, let's have a look, see what's going on here. Progress. Phoenix, 1739 Zulu. It is, so we got about an hour to get there, Jace. Gain points for watching what?
Airslaw 6156 for spacing of total speed of 300 knots of speeds. 300 or better, 61.
Oh, that's why you're here. Makes sense. Where is the top of descent on prize?
Airslaw 6156
Let's see.
spacing of total speed of 300 knots of speeds. 300 or better, 6156.
Don't lie, bitch. Oh, we're not too far off. Like 100, 200 something miles. That'll go by in no time. So I think this is Telluride, because I have a payware scenery there that has seasonal textures, so you can see it's like snow right there.
3523, clear indicated speed.
245.
Accord 3523220 knots or less. When ready, descend 17,000. Altimeter 268.
Two clear left, 17,000 on 268, quarter 392.
Accord 3523, clear indicated speed.
245.
Accord 3.
Let's check out the ACARS page, see if anyone else is flying today. I am the only Walker Air pilot currently in the air. Where everybody else at? Today's hours 1, today's flights 1. It's just me. Total flights to date so far, though, 29 and 52 hours total. Pretty good. How many pilots do we got? Let's go to pilot roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pilots. Let's do this. If anyone's interested, you can click this link. They'll take you to the ACARS page. You can monitor who's flying, and you should be able to sign up and join there. Downloads to all the sweet liveries.
Delta 1459, climb to flight level 230.
Flight level 230.
Delta 1459, climb to flight level 230.
Flight level 230.
Something else we can do if we're still expecting the ILS 7 right, we can go ahead and put this in 110.75. And the approach course was what? 078 degrees. Hi kid, long time no see. How's it going, buddy? Off for dinner? What are you eating? How dare you? I told you I was hungry. Have a good one. Get DCS. Probably not going to happen. I'm doing well. Merry Christmas. I only have the hard drive space for DCS, and it's the last thing I need is another thing to sink money into at the moment. Ike, what are your special Christmas plans? What are you looking forward to? What's going on?
Airbridge Chicago 407, proceed direct Kden-Kphx.
Direct to Takeoff, Chicago 407.
Should have flown to Telluride. Get on a little snowy landing. Where is it? I think that's the valley right there. So I think it's buried somewhere in this little spot.
407, proceed direct Kden-Kphx.
Direct to Takeoff, Chicago 407.
And it looks like another airport over here. Back. Got any special plans for the holidays? What are you up to? What is that airport? Stevens Field. Kilo Papa Sierra Oscar.
Austria 65 Heavy, center hub.
Final tests, and then you get off for 20 days. What are your tests? What subjects?
Today, Oscar 65 Heavy is on Tailsphere, 360, keep it DRT.
Austria 65 Heavy, center hub.
Yes, 934, we'll find the RNAV Zulu 29, requesting direct to 118.
Ooh, math. Not my strong point. Good luck to you.
Yes, 934, we'll find the RNAV Zulu 29, requesting direct to 118. Jet 934, where do you want to go to? Our requesting direct to Zulu for the RNAV Zulu 29. Clear direct to Zulu, Jet 934. Clear direct to Zulu, Jet 934.
Geez, no wonder it's taking. Our ground speed is 365 knots. We have a 139 knot headwind. Or no, 80 knot headwind, direct headwind. That sucks. What do you want to be? What exactly are you studying for? 4 hours for math and 30 minutes for all the other ones. Yeah, I was the same. It's funny because I studied English when I was in university. Obviously, I'm not a math person, and my sister's exactly the opposite. She's an engineer, but can barely speak English to save her life. No offense, sis. Not much of a sense of humor.
The Federal altimeter is 2957. Proceed direct to Kden-Kphx and descend 8,000.
57, send 8,000, direct. Camper 30, 20,000.
Canfor 3827, roger.
Got a snowy Telluride in there somewhere.
Good center, today's Camper 3827, flight level 205, sending 11,000. We have information call. And looking for direct Kden-Kphx from the RNAV runway 27.
Canfor 3827, center, good day. The Federal altimeter is 2957. Proceed direct to Kden-Kphx and descend 8,000.
57, send 8,000, direct. Camper 3027.
Canfor 3827, roger.
Well, saying Phoenix at 1741 Zulu, and it is 1646 Zulu currently, so a little bit less than an hour. It would be, man, I didn't think it was going to take this long, but I did not look at the top of climb winds. It is like just a straight up 80 knot headwind. A lot of time to stare at the mountains, but the mountains are going to be gone in a second. It's just going to be desert.
Contact arrival on 1244. Jazz 934. Jazz 934, contact arrival on 1244. Jazz 934.
I'm not sure how I feel about seasonal textures. Like, I feel like either the whole game should have it or nothing. I don't like just having one tile of snow. No, I don't think so. Let's see what the METAR is saying right now in Phoenix. Kilo Foxtrot. Kilo Papa Hotel X-ray. Where are you at? There we go. 090 at 11 knots. 10 miles visibility, few clouds, 16,000, broken at 18,000. Temperature 14, dew point -4. No precipitation. 11 knots, but it's right down the runway. And not gusting, so should be pretty easy. And I guess 80 knots isn't that windy for winds aloft. I mean, it can be upwards of like 130 knots. Depending on where you're at in the United States and what's going on weather-wise. We just got lucky with one directly down the head. So you can see the angle right there. We're 226 degrees and we're flying 216 degrees. Now, 11 knots is fine.
Hotel Fox, Sierra, beginning, sir.
I'm here at 10,000 level, 6,000 surface, we're getting seasonal drop.
Hotel Fox, Sierra, thank you. And as I previously mentioned, Challenger traffic, probably approach your 7 o'clock position by 10 miles. No conflict for you, leaving 13,000 for 8,000.
Okay, perfect. We're going to start descent down below 6,000 now, so make sure you're not on the other one.
Hotel Fox, Sierra, underplay.
So ground speed of 364. Legitimately, I think I had a ground speed of over 400 knots in the TBM the other day, which is insane to think about.
Hotel Fox, Sierra, beginning, sir.
Although even airspeed, I mean, that should be more than 500. This is a slow cost index, I guess.
Hotel Fox,
Let's see, cruise.
and as I previously mentioned, Challenger
Econ speed 0.77, which is what we're at.
Okay, perfect. We're going to start descent down below 6,000 now, so
Bump it up, don't tell the boss. Let's go 0.8. Why does this keep moving? Stop moving, you bitch. Shh, don't tell anybody. There we go. Get it up there, 0.8. Let's see what this does. See, ain't nobody got time to be sitting here floating. Now we're cooking. Still not going to be tremendously fast, but man, come on, 0.7. I tried to be a good boy. There we go, Mach 0.8. Ground speed 381. It's still a little slow, but it's better than, what, 360 or whatever was that before. It's my favorite plane. What kind of plane? Like general aviation, passenger jets, or like military? Because I think I have a different one for each. Or are you talking about just an X-plane? Airliner, I'd probably say, aesthetically, probably the 757, the one that we're flying. Or maybe the 747, just because I think it's like a modern marvel, an engineering marvel. I mean, think about how crazy this is. Like a 747, the maximum takeoff weight is close to 1 million pounds. Something like 975,000 pounds, and it can fly at Mach 0.88, close to the speed of sound, which is just, it's insane. That's insane to think about. What about you?
It was 7775.
I think the 757 just looks really elegant. $787, that's a good one too. It's hard to choose just one. I also really like the 777. 737's a classic. Yeah, it's kind of like being in a candy store and just having to choose one particular type of candy. It's hard. It's a hard decision. What is this? I have never noticed this thing before. This little stabilizer off to the side of the APU port. Jeez, what is that?
It was 7775. Center Roger. And the rudder and altimeter is 295.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think for X-Plane right now, if you're like really into airliners, if that's your thing, I think PMDG might be. I mean, X-Plane is good in terms of being a physics simulator, and it has good default night lighting and all that kind of stuff, but there's really a lot of better airliner options for P3D. I mean, the 777 that we have sucks. The Magnite 787, I mean, it looks decent, but it's not on the same level as the Quality Wings or whoever makes that one for PMDG. Also the PMDG 747, better than the SSG at the moment. Although I like the SSG, it's just not. I don't think it's to the same quality level as the other options for P3D. But I think where X-Plane excels is that it's, as a physics simulator, actually models airflow over a 3D airfoil rather than just taking performance numbers and trying to create something that gets you close to behaving, that way in a certain environment. It's not perfect, but it's good. I'm interested to see how MS or Flight Simulator 2020 ends up turning out. Also, I'm pretty excited about the Rotate MD-11. That's like one of my favorite planes. It'd be cool to have a good one of those in X-Plane. I really like the MD-88, so hopefully they do a good job on that as well. Yeah, no, I agree. You can make P3D look pretty good, but I think default X-Plane wins. And the night lighting, particularly with the extended night lighting, is just, it's amazing. I think it's my favorite time to fly is like twilight or early morning when you still get the transition lighting in the sky and all of the cars and city lights and stuff. It looks so good. But who knows, man? We'll see what happens with Flight Simulator 2020. Maybe it's something that just comes along and kills P3D and X-Plane. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. How we doing here, boys? Why does this, when you click it, it moves around? I will punch you in the face. It is a bit harder, yeah, but, you know, it's good fun. It looks cool. Alright, we're actually getting pretty close to a top of descent here. Probably about 120 miles now. Actually, man, flying at night in general, like in real life too, is one of my favorite things. It's obviously more dangerous, but man, it looks freaking awesome. Do you play simulators too, or you just kind of surf around and watch other people play them?
43404, do you send the 4,000?
Send 4,000, 4,404.
Oh, there you go. See, my question about Flight Simulator 2020 is, like, I think it has a lot of promise to be something really spectacular, but when it first comes out, like, what am I going to expect in terms of systems depth? Because I like, at least with X-Plane, there's a lot of quote-unquote study-level airplane, something that you feel like is a reasonable simulation of what you could expect in real life, and I hope that it's like that with a lot of these planes out of the box. And obviously when other devs start to come in and sell their own, I'm just curious to see how that pans out. Because it looks like weather-wise and obviously in terms of scenery, they're like headed in an amazing direction, but what I'm looking for, I guess, is realism, or like, I guess, at least as high fidelity as you can get being a simulator.
941, unit flying flight level 360. 941.
Also, for what it's worth, I mean, do I regret spending as much money as I did on X-Plane? Yeah, maybe. There's a few planes that I probably wouldn't have gotten, but it's an invaluable training tool. Like, it has helped pretty immeasurably in real life flying, which is cool.
Brandon 941 is identified for direct tapping on the
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. VATSIM now, I don't know if you noticed, they've upgraded their VoIP, and if you get X-Pilot, it adds, like, you know, some radio transmission noises, and now all of the radio frequencies work. So if you're normally, before with VATSIM, you would have to be on a controller's frequency for that chat room to be active. But now if you have, let's say you're flying to a small untowered airport and there's a CTAF frequency, if you and another player are on the same CTAF frequency, you can talk to each other on that frequency, which is really cool. I don't do it much on stream because I spend so much time usually talking to chat or just talking to myself. I don't really like to be bothered with it, but it's pretty fun. Or if you're doing group flights with your friends and stuff like that, it's pretty good fun. Let's see if we can get a top of descent on this. There it is. It's about 100, a little bit over 100 miles now. Not too bad. Longer flight than I expected, though. Because of winds. You got suspended for no reason. Wait, what happened? You mean you continue your flight later or something? Although didn't Matt Davies get kicked off of VATSIM for saying something like, you know, VATSIM is for pedophiles or some shit like that? Man, that's weird. Is it your IP address, or could you make a new account? I mean, how's that going to work if you try to get back into it? Like, who's making those band decisions over at VATSIM? You guys, little Hitlers, need to calm down. Did they say like your username, or can you make a new one and just or is it that they block the IP address? How does that work? That's annoying. It's like, bitch, I didn't even try it. And how long ago was that? If you're still interested, I would definitely give it a go, because it's a lot better now than it was. Oh, not too long ago. So yeah, it's after like the new VoIP and stuff went active. Well, that sucks, because I mean the alternative is what? Pilot Edge, which is, I'm not paying for that. Okay, yeah, well, you could, if you didn't put your quote-unquote real name, I think that they'll kick you off. I don't know, it's not a permanent ban, but someone, like the first time that we flew online with it, someone had a obviously fake name, and they said that you had to put your real stuff in there. So you just make a name that looks legitimate. I think that might be the issue. I don't know why they care so much about providing those details. Like, it's a free service. Maybe I guess they think it would decrease the chance that someone would get on and abuse it or annoy other players just being a troll. Yeah, that might be the problem. Just I mean, if you don't want to put your real name in there, it's fine, but just choose something that looks like a real name. Like I said, I'm not sure why they want it, but they do.
We'll time to 494, my frequency 121.37. 137, just over 494. We'll time to 494, my frequency 121.37. 137, just over 494.
Yeah, but I mean, you're never using your real name with air traffic control anyway. It's always going to be your civil ident or whatever your call sign is for your flight. As far as I can guess, I think that probably the real reason, or the only reason that they would want to do that, is to disincentivize people from trolling. You know, someone who just makes a fake name and shows up and tries to crash into people while they're landing. Even if there's no collisions or anything, it would just be kind of annoying, I guess. You might be able to just use your real account, just provide what looks like a real name. It doesn't sound like it was probably permanently suspended. They probably just want you to provide your quote-unquote name. What are we doing here? Top of descent. Oh, there, man, that was there the whole time. I'm dumb. 95 nautical miles to top of descent. Like I said, it's definitely a big improvement. I was doing an online flight with somebody, and we were outside of any major airspace. So I was like, well, we don't have to talk to controllers if you don't want to. And we were on a CTAF frequency, and I picked up somebody else calling like their moves in a pattern in the middle of nowhere, which was, I was pretty amazed. Permanently suspended for not putting, that's fucking dumb. Yeah, try to make a new one. Some Gestapo over there.
Kden-Kphx, Heavy Center Squad 2406. 2406 on the squad, Kden-Kphx, heavy.
Ooh, something else we can do. Let's get Phoenix ATIS 127.575. Come over here. 127.575. Switch that over here. Can you get on my way, please? Thanks. VHF. There we go. Alright, it's on, the volume is on, so hopefully that'll pick up on the right VHF when we get closer. And it's probably going to say the arrival runway is 08, which is dumb. It's typically your arrival runway is going to be the shorter one, not the longer one. So as long as they're headed in the right direction, I'm sticking with 07 right.
Kden-Kphx is radar identified. Clear direct Yankee, Romeo, India. The rest of the route is the same. What's your request to go?
What? Was it an automated email? Because I would send them a message or respond to that and ask them about it. Say that you didn't know that you needed to provide your real details or something like that. That's kind of ridiculous. There's got to be someone that you could contact to do that. So they blocked your IP address just because you didn't use your real name? That's some bullshit. Yo, that landscape down there, though. Jeez. Screenshots. I wonder which one's more active, though. That's another thing that I've noticed about VATSIM, and I don't know if it's because they've improved the VoIP or whatever, but it seems like there's consistently more people online now than there was in the past, but I've never used iVow. So I don't know how it compares. $600. Damn. Okay, so there's 200,000 more search results for IVAO. I'm sure that. Well, I wonder if that means that it's more active. I'd be curious. Ooh, Albuquerque Center. We are getting close. What are we doing? Top of descent in 63 miles. Let's look at... Initial approach fix should be 6,000. Be 080, so this is your final approach. 080, 080. So put 6,000, maybe 5,000 on the MCP and let VNAV get us down there, and then once we turn final, we will activate the approach. Should pick up the localizer and the glide slope. Where next? Kirkham is next. Finally, man. I'm gonna have to do pan by the time I get there. I got a whiz. If I have to, I just, go AFK for a while. Autopilot's pretty good on these guys. I think I can hold it. I'm not too far away now. It's all the coffee I had this morning. It's like, it's a holiday week here. Family's coming into town today, so I don't really normally drink a lot of coffee on weekdays. But I feel like having a party this morning. The TOD on the first officer's MFD. Oh yeah, baby T. Look at. That's party point. At least the terrain's a little bit more interesting. There's like a stretch of just flat up desert back there that was kind of boring. It looks kind of interesting now. It's also hard to wrap my mind. Ortho photos look really, really good when you're at, what are we at, 34,000 feet right now, but once you get down below maybe 5,000, it starts to get muddy. From what I've seen of Flight Simulator 2020, man, that is just going to be something else. No, this is just the Ortho photos, Ortho 4 XP, and the Phoenix Airport is a Mr. X freeware, so it's pretty much free flight. Denver was a payware, but everything else. Yeah, I have pretty much all of the United States, and I have a 4 terabyte hard drive that has that on, all that scenery on there. Don't have a lot of ortho elsewhere. There's a few islands in the Caribbean that I've got ortho at, but that's it. I think it's close to 3 terabytes for the US, but you can make your own. If you use Ortho 4 XP, you can make it for anywhere you want to. Most of my ortho in the United States is the the Fork Boy ortho project. And there's also a few that I've gotten from Vertical Sim, and my buddy Ither has helped me out with some of the meshes. 2 terabyte, you could do tons of stuff with 2 terabytes. Plus, if you wanted to, it depends on what if you're flying like GA, I would make the zoom level a lot higher because you're going to be at a lower altitude. But if you're flying with a passenger jet, usually probably zoom level 14 to 16 is going to be fine because you're going to be at 30,000 feet anyway. I'm just curious to see how, Flight Simulator 2020 is going to have streaming scenery. So you're going to have a good internet connection, I'm imagining. But it's also making 3D, world objects, trees, buildings, and stuff like that coincide with what the ortho photo. I don't know how that's supposed to work, man. technologically insane to me.
Kennedy 23, we're descent to the 34.5 for 290.
Kennedy 23, continue descent to 6,000 feet, altimeter 297.
Top of descent now on our multifunction display. About 30 miles.
Kennedy 23, right.
Kennedy 23, we're descent to the 34.5 for 290.
Kennedy 23, continue descent to 6,000 feet, altimeter 2972.
I have a 6,000, 297 here, Kennedy 23.
Kennedy 23, right.
World objects are the thing that eats frame rate the most, I've found. I don't know what your setup is, but I've got a 1080 and an i7, and I usually leave things at medium world objects, and that gives me pretty consistently well over 30 to 60 frames.
Give me 7791, you want 14,000? Give me 7791, maintain 14,000.
It also seems like X-Plane is largely run on your CPU, which is weird. Yeah, so I mean i7 7700 is that's pretty good.
Give me 7791, you want 14,000? Give me 7791, maintain 14,000.
20 miles. The wind is actually picked up somehow. No, it's not, but I think a lot of what screws with X-Plane isn't the GPU, because it doesn't seem super heavy on the GPU side of things. It's more on the CPU. So as long as you got to do, like, you know, for example, I got a friend who, I think he's an i5, he has an older CPU, and he just got a new 1080, a newish, recently, and yeah, still frame rate issues because most of it is dependent on the CPU, not the GPU. Reset MCP altitude, I will do that. I say we're gonna go 5,000.
7462, you are identified traffic stop, rest the route unchanged. Considering top. Rest the route unchanged. 462.
Finally coming up on the top of descent. Where are we at right now? Let's have a look real quick. Actually, we'll look together. There she is. So I don't know if there's some way to see here. So this is the class Bravo around Phoenix, but I wonder if there's some way to see shelf. Oh yeah, here we go. So each shelf has its own altitude. So you can see this one, the floor is 6,000 and the max altitude is 9,000. That's cool. And the center is 0 to 9,000. You're waiting for a buttery landing. Well, I'll do my best. It's been a while since I've flown this thing, but I will say that currently my average landing rate on the VA is 164, which is pretty good for tubes. And that's been like a 737, 747, 727, and I think this is the 4th flight that I've done, 757. It is pretty good for passenger jets. I will take it. Even 260 is really not that bad for these types of planes. You know, for example, everyone for what the landing rate plugin. That's a big thing because that's the way you can judge whether your landings are good or not. But Boeing says you need probably at least 150 foot FPM just to make sure that the ground spoilers deploy.
Center, number 6260, level 330. Number 6260, good morning, and shouldn't be anything, just an occasional light shot for you. Roger, thanks, number 6260. Number 6260, good make along for us. Direct Nikola, number 6260.
Oh, are we descending? Yeah, buddy. That one's tricky because you're sitting so high up. You're really just listening for your GPWS callouts, like you get in your feet. It's hard to flare it right. That's a tricky one. I think that was my hardest landing so far in the VA stuff, is with the 747. What I tend to do is, when you get into the roundout, or the flare I guess, is to overflare and then not give it any extra power. So you float a little bit, you gain a little bit of altitude, and then when you finally lose that lift, you slam down even harder than if you just not flared quite as bad. Practice is how. See, actually we're descending now so we can get our VREF in, so that's going to be flaps 30, 130 knots. And that's bugged on the MCP, I believe.
Kden 264, give about 35 to 40 track miles, turn left into Davik, ascend to 6000.
Davik and 6000, Air Canada 264.
Darrow, thank you for the follow. I always, whenever someone does that now, it always trips me out if I'm flying tubes. I can't tell if it's like a noise that's coming from the airplane or not. Welcome. I have no idea, man. Someone just, they were throwing Santa Claus hats on stuff, and I asked them how they did it, and apparently you get points for watching, but I have no idea. I'm a neophyte with technology. Let's see how we're doing here.
Air Canada 264, 7,100 for 4,000, direct to Davik, with no issue. And it's 264, thank you. What do you do? I think 0 when we get to 4,200. Yeah, I think 080 and 200 knots with 4,000, Air Canada.
Double check that we got ILS 110.75 and the approach course is 78. 110.75 and 78. That said, assuming we still get 7 right when we get there, should be able to pick up the ATIS here in a second. And in case we don't, I'm going to double check the METAR and get at least an altimeter in the standby 29905. not a huge change.
7051, descent 900,000.
Keep the 900,000.
Auto brakes 2. Let's see what the actual runway distance is. Hopefully I'm not going to float it too bad where that's going to be an actual issue, but I know it's the shortest runway there. It is 7,800 feet. That's plenty of a good float anyway.
264, 210 heading in descent 4,000 glide path, clear 9 left, 24 right. 210 for the air, step, water, step, 4,000, clear the island, 24 right, 264.
Well, technically the rule, I guess in real life, is if you don't make the landing in the first third of a runway, you should probably do a go-around. But since it's a flight simulator, I never, ever do go-arounds. I always look at the approach plate, and I'm like, alright, here's the missed approach altitude, here's what you gotta do in case you have a balks landing, but I never do go-arounds. I don't know if that's made a bad habit, because I rarely do go-arounds in real life either. Probably a bad habit that I got from flight simming. Not on the center line, no big deal.
4,000 glide path, clear 9 left, 24 right. 210 for the air, step, water, step, 4,000, clear the island, 24 right, 264.
Phoenix, we should be about 75 miles now. Let's see what we got going on here. Progress. Why does this freaking move around every time I click it? 17 now, 1750 Zulu arrival, and that's about 20 minutes. Well, this plane can be kind of tricky to land sometimes because there's like a lag in throttle and thrust. So if you see yourself starting to get slow when you bring the throttle forward, it takes a little while for the engines to catch up. So you can get kind of behind it. So I'd rather be fast than slow when we're coming in. So I'm going to move these myself. So 130 is the VREF. No? Bitch. Try to keep it about 140 until we're getting close to the threshold.
Georgia 7051, descent 8,000.
Here we're about 70 miles out. It'll probably be handed off from center to approach control. So we'll switch that to 119.2. Phoenix approach, sub boys, on the Eagle 6 arrival. And what's the tower frequency? 118.7. Yeah, there's the response time is kind of slow. We'll be fine. So obviously no weather, so we can turn that off. Get back over into test mode. Minimums are set 300, but I don't think weather's going to be an issue.
Charlie Fox, Julie, November Sierra, departure, you're identifying, climb 7,000.
The longest flight I've ever done was like What's the distance between Hawaii and San Francisco? I think it's like 1,800 nautical miles. This is kind of pushing it for longest in terms of time. I don't really enjoy doing super long flights because you're just sitting in cruise the whole time looking out the window, which is cool, but I like takeoffs and landings. That one, what I did, I just increased the sim ground speed. I think you can hit Alt-T and it speeds it up, so really it took me probably about maybe an hour and a half total. Just particularly flying from Hawaii to San Francisco, there's nothing to look at, it's just freaking water. But it was right when I got the 747, I was like, this is not, I mean, there's not really a domestic route that you can do with this that makes any sense. So until we get the cargo version of that, do something along those lines. Coming up on our transition altitude, since we're descending to an altitude, I can go ahead and switch that over to standard Barrow 29905. Calgary to Vancouver, how long is that? I'm not great with Canadian geography. I know Vancouver's on the west coast, and I think Calgary's middle, is that right? Two hours. Yeah, probably about the same. Our tolerance is probably about the same time-wise. I don't understand the guys that do the long-haul flights in real time. I guess you could, you could do one where you put it on before you go to work in the morning, get up to cruise, and then when you come home from work and finish dinner, you're getting close to top of descent. But then it kind of feels like you're just wasting energy. Just have your computer running all day. Alright. I'm going to get the seatbelts on. Boys, girls, turn to your seats. Cabin crew, prepare for arrival. These checklists on the yoke, not the best. Pressurization has been set. Airspeed bugs, I think, are set. We got 130 down there, which is bugged for, that's our VREF. That's good. Altimeter's set. And recall, where's the recall button? Status? Yeah, exactly. There's no reason I should be for it. Well, at least it's a little bit more comfortable than in real life. When I lived in Korea, then flying back home for Christmas, those flights, especially coming back when you're flying into the wind, I think would be over 14 hours, which is not fun for a tall person. Although one year I had enough frequent flyer miles to upgrade to business class, so you get your own little compartment and stuff with crazy meals and everything, and it was on a 747-800, and being at the front of the airplane, I had like an amazing window view of both the engines. That was an awesome flight. Now if I had the money to fly like that all the time, I wouldn't mind. Weird, smoothed out once we get a little bit lower. I thought it was from, mechanical turbulence, maybe like wind blowing up over these mountains. Supposedly it's a thing with Active Sky XP, but I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know, man. If you go business once, it's kind of hard to go back to economy, right? That sucks. So you had like layovers, I guess. As long as you had business on each of them. Fortunately, there was a direct flight from Seoul to Atlanta, which is where I live. So I didn't have... If I flew Korean Air, I could just fly direct. What kind of planes were you flying?
950, thanks. After the noise abatement, make a right turn.
So I think Phoenix is, yeah, this is the valley, I think, where the airport is, somewhere over here. I believe. If only there was some way to find out. Whoa, the food was better in economy than it was in business class on Lufthansa. That is a claim right there. Get somebody from Lufthansa on the line. Get a refund. Although, to be fair, and this might sound culturally insensitive, but I can't. What are some German foods other than sauerkraut that are actually worth eating? I mean, because schnitzel, I don't know, there's just like a bunch of stuff that doesn't seem like a particularly amazing cuisine. You know, it's kind of hard to screw bread up, too. 11,840. We're getting pretty close to 10,000. I'll go get these guys on now, so don't forget. Seatbelts are on. Pressure's set. Probably forgetting something. Never got the ATIS. Double check, see what's going on here. Phoenix. Been 090, still 11 knots, so we'll stick with 07 right. So a little bit of a quartering headwind, no big deal. Korean Air is more expensive. Usually when I would just, because I had, you know, the Korean Air card, their food is really good, man, even in economy class. I wouldn't say that I looked forward to it, but I've definitely had worse.
Delta 2526, traffic at your 11 to 12 o'clock and 10 miles opposite direction is a beach night.
Yeah, so, plus I like Korean food anyway. But then the business class, man, it was like you get 3 separate, you know, courses that are all plated out for you on real porcelain. 10 out of 10. I'm not sure how much those tickets cost if you were going to buy them directly, because obviously, you know, I redeemed points to get those seats, but, man, totally worth it. Oh, drag required. Sorry. We got 280 feet to get below 250 knots. Or not. This is FMS controlled speed, and it's saying 270 right now for some reason. Queenie next, 210? Yeah, it should be 250. But FMS speed down here is saying 210 knots at Queenie, so we'll see if we get a change here. It's going to tell the boss I was speeding below 10,000 feet. All that stuff's reported in your ACARs for the VA. Nope. Whatevs. After how long this flight ended up being, I don't mind. We'll speed a little bit to get there. There's the airport. Phoenix! That far runway over there is going to be us. And we might be able to shorten it a little bit too. So looking at this, we'll see. We'll see where that transition puts us. We are close. Could just do it by hand. Doing a spiral emergency landing, emergency descent. Still saying 270 on the FMS. Maybe I control this manually. Oh, I gotta turn VNAV off for that. Alright, let's do it. Or not. Hello? Okay. Yeah, God forbid we ever have fully auto. I don't think I would ever fly on a fully automated airplane. I think we'll get to a point where there's like single crew certified passenger jets, but I don't think it's ever going to be a fully automated flight system. Like, I mean, it could be wrong. Who knows? But I don't know if I'd feel comfortable flying on one. Oh, thrust required. What is going on? I thought the auto throttle was on. Hello? Alright, so now I'm controlling manually the throttle. Is that what's happening here? Alright, this just got interesting. Alright, for whatever reason the auto throttle came off. You know what we'll do? Look, Tesla is 7,000. So I might go direct Tesla after or a beam. And we'll just shorten this thing up. Let's go, not a VNAV. I'm not really liking how this is working. Why does it not give me speed control over this? Global scenery on X-Plane Mobile. I don't know about either of those, to be honest. Sorry. Never played X-Plane Mobile. Heard good things. I pretty much just play on desktop, though. Yeah, so the alternative for us is going to be to extend down here another, like, 10 miles to our transition, which I don't think we have to do. So we'll pass a beam Tesla, and then we'll go direct to interchange, and then we'll get it sorted out. What I want is speed control. We'll go heading select. No. Just kidding, just kidding. Or I could just fly the whole thing manually. Say manual flying, because as long as you get the flight directors to work, I'll just do the rest myself. So right now we're above the speed limit, and the auto throttle doesn't appear to be working. I mean, it's working now, but it's keeping us at 270. It's not following the FMS set speed, and I can't turn VNAV off, and nor select speed on here. So what I'm doing, I'm just gonna go heading hold. Can I select speed? I still can't select speed. And once we're beam Tesla, I'll go direct interchange, and then I'll just fly it by hand. No, I haven't done it yet. I'm on heading hold. It's no big deal. Cycle flight directors? Nah, I'll fly it manually here in a second. That gonna be more fun anyway. Get this down to 10 miles. Here we are, a beam Tesla, so we're gonna go Tesla, direct interchange, Tesla. God, why is this bouncing all over? Execute. And we are going to disengage the autopilot. See ya! And get LNAV back on. And auto throttle, please. No, this is the fun way, man. Go get on tower so I can forget about that. See ya. So when you get the ACARS report and it's like Jason was speeding under 10,000, you'll know what happened. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to hear about it. Save me, Dad. There was a new update for the Flight Factor 757. I'm not sure if this is related or not. Coming up on 250 knots. Ziva. Shit. Alright, there, we're at 250 knots now. Man, don't... Nice, I'll have to give it a glance here in just a second. Where's this taking us? This is all kind of screwed up. Get the slats out here. I think we're in range, just barely. I should be able to pick up. Let's go approach. Glide slope and localizer there, so we'll follow those in a second. I got the localizer.
Over there, Canada 414, you're on the left 24 right. There's Canada 414, you're number 2, you're 4 miles behind 737.
And there's the glide slope. Already descending.
There's the last number right there, Canada 414.
It's turned into an eventful flight.
Over there, Canada 414, you're on the left 24 right. There's Canada 414, you're number 2, you're 4 miles behind 737. Wind 250, 15, 25. Clear for line runway 24 right. There's the last number right there, Canada 414.
Slippery too. I mean, we're not descending super fast, but it does not want to slow down. That's with flaps 1, flaps 5, and speed brakes.
Over to departure today. Today, 472.
The gear down. Hopefully those are going to break off. Help us slow down.
Jet 987, turn right, heading 320. Contact departure. Wind 260, 15, descending 20. Third takeoff runway 24.
Turn to 320, Jazz 987.
Waiting for the landing. Sorry to keep you up. Should have been there by now. Remember, I gotta keep it around 140 knots until touchdown, because this thing, she gets slow pretty fast.
Runway heading 320, contact departure. Wind 260, 15 gusting 20, clear to take off runway 24.
Turn to 320, Jazz 987.
Target AM 13526, clear dial at support. Call 3526, wind 250 at 15, clear to line runway 24 right. Clear to line 24 right, on first left.
For some reason, too, I'm having like quite a bit of right aileron, even though the wind should be coming from 20 degrees, quartering off the left side. Not sure what's going on there. There you go, flaps 30, and we're done. Now I'm just watching the speed.
Target AM 13526, clear dial at support right. Call 3526, wind 250 at 15, clear to line runway 24 right. Clear to line 24 right, on first left.
Starting to get slow there. We're a little bit below glide path too. I can if I zoom in. Yeah, we're a little bit low. Now we're right on it. I want to keep it about there. So the VREF is 130, so I want to keep it at least around 135, 137.
Trail target at noon, 4473 with the visual for you. 4473, number 2, dash 8, is short final, wind 250, 15, clear to line runway 24 right. Clear to line 24 right, 4473.
Walker Air is going to have this plane inspected when we are on the ground. Not sure what I did to it or whatever happened here. The MCP not working.
Trail target at noon, 4473 with the visual for you. 4473, number 2, dash 8, is short final, wind 250, 15, clear to line runway 24 right. Clear to line 24 right, 4473.
Continue.
Tower 73730, there's 2 left right.
73730 years, number 2, 3 miles behind dash 8, wind 270, 15 up to 20, clear to line runway 24 right, and start reducing, catch that tunnel.
Alright, we'll slow it down and midland 2 right, 73730. Tower 73730, there's 2 left right.
73730 years, number 2, 3 miles behind dash 8, wind 270, 15 up to 20, clear to line runway 24 right, and start reducing, catch that tunnel.
Alright, we'll slow it down.
A little floaty. Told you I was going to do that. But we're alive.
Jazz 716, tower turn right at 8320. Remain this frequency for now. Wind 27015, just take off to the left.
Cigna 320, right turn, I'll stay with you, pre-takeoff to 21, Jack 716.
Let's see, let's use this. Ground 119.75. Those lights can come off. Strobe light off. APU on. Disarm those auto brakes. Flight directors didn't do nothing for us. Thanks for nothing.
322, contact ground 1219.
21, have a good day.
Go park this bad boy and we'll watch a replay. Felt pretty smooth. Mostly on the center line. I've had worse landings. Clear final. There's Phoenix down there.
Virgin 7322, contact ground 1219.
21, have a good day.
Virgin 7242, ground cross feet right, taxi down Bravo, hold short Bravo 1.
APU RPMs are at 100. Should be on. There we go. Get that. APU bleed on. Engine bleeds off. Park over there at gate 11 or 9.
Avoid 3470, ground runway 06 left, altimeter 298, x-ray, taxi off the ramp, hold short Bravo.
Off the ramp and short Bravo, 2982, we have X-ray on board 3470.
Well, I don't know if there's like some sort of built-in systems failure, maybe? Failures, reports. No faults or malfunctions detected. Something was going on with the MCP. I don't know if it's... Oh, taxi line.
Virgin 7262.
Something with this update or whatever. At least the flight directors worked. I followed those pretty much all the way down. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Good luck with your finals or your exams, especially your math one.
Cross runway 32 right, taxi Bravo, hold short Bravo 1.
Bravo, short Bravo 1, Jazz 915.
Oh, look at us already on the line.
Just 915, ground cross runway 32 right, taxi Bravo, hold short Bravo 1.
Bravo, short Bravo 1, Jazz 915.
Bridge 7242 left AK, call the ramp 2227.
Okay, left Alpha Kilo and 2227, sir.
There we go. Park and brake on. If any engine can come straight off. Already got the APU on and on the bus. And anti-collisions off. We made it. We're live. Close out our flight on the ACARS finish. File PIREP. There we go. Flight is done. Let's watch a replay and I'll GTFO, boys and girls. Not super floaty. I've definitely done worse than that. At least we didn't gain altitude during the flare. Oh, let's see what the landing rate was. According to our PIREP there. One more, we'll get a wing view. Flight operations logbook. Kden-Kphx. We had a landing rate of where's it at? Minus 155. That was good. That's pretty much spot on my average. That's fine. A lot of exceeded 250 knots below 10,000 feet on there, though. Sorry, boss. Send this plane straight to maintenance now, too. It looks good. It looks really good in this Walker Air livery, too. It's like a tuxedo.
Jet 717, you're clear to line 24 map, wind 260 at 15, exit at the end.
I think this is us here. I think we parked it over here. Alright, boys, as per usual, we're going to let it taxi to the gate, shut down all that mess. But I am getting out of here. Ither, Merry Christmas. Have a good one. Tell the missus we said hi. Hi, kid. Good to see you again. It's been a long time. Everybody else for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. See you after Christmas. I'm going to be gone. Take a couple days off. Later. Strav, just in time for me to GTFO. Thanks for the follow, buddy. We'll be back in a couple of days after Christmas. Everybody enjoy your holidays. Again, I'll let it go to shutdown, but thanks for hanging out. See ya!